Pray for vocations. Pray for priests. You know, look, have a spiritual mind. Put on the mind of Christ. Think for a moment. The priest is the only one who can bring you Jesus in the Eucharist. There's nobody else. Nobody else who can bring you Jesus in the Eucharist. The priest is the only one who can raise his hand in absolution. I absolve you from your sins. In this spiritual combat, it is totally and perfectly logical that the enemy of souls would subvert the priesthood. No priest, no Eucharist. That's all. Very, very simple. There you have the crux of the scandals. So rather than be angry or just bitter, pray. I remember my superior one time. I was very upset. I had to put up with a lot, and every priest has, not just me, but every priest since that terrible mess. We live in a kind of anxiety. It doesn't matter. You say, well, you just be good and nothing, and you'll be okay. You know, just be, be holy and don't do any bad things. You got nothing to worry about. Wrong. Wrong. I have been accused from everything from rape to murder since I've been a priest. If I wasn't so ornery and mean, I'd already be gone. Oh, I had a woman in Milwaukee say that I raped her. She called the police in Milwaukee and in my little town in Montana. Can you imagine? A priest in this day and age, some woman says that I raped her. Now, I hadn't been to Milwaukee in 5 years. That doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. Nowadays, especially with a priest, anybody can say anything they want, and they don't have any downside. We have a downside, because even if you're perfectly innocent, if that gets out, you're damaged, terribly damaged from that point on. And someone like me, who's known to millions of people, you better believe I'm a very large target. And the devil's a shooter. For 3 days, I had to live with that. Went to my lawyer, called him up. I never needed a lawyer in my entire life. All the years I was in business, ran a corporation, never needed a lawyer. Since 2002 forward, I have the names and phone numbers of 6 different lawyers on my desk, taped to my desk. Intellectual property lawyers, criminal defense lawyers, this kind of lawyer, that kind of lawyer, general business lawyer. Heck of a thing when a priest has to have 6 lawyers taped to his desk. Well, the detectives finally go to interview the woman. This is a criminal complaint, felony complaint, serious. And all I could think of when I heard about it was, remember Dragnet, the TV show with Joe Friday? Dun, 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 dun. Well, ma'am, when did the alleged crime take place? Well, it was last Wednesday morning, early in the morning. And where did the alleged crime take place? Well, it was in my living room. And what were the circumstances surrounding the event? Well, I couldn't sleep that night. I got up, went into my living room. I turned the television on. And there he was. And all of a sudden he came out of the television. And that's when it happened. It's funny, but it wasn't. I mean, it is funny, but at the time, I'm telling you, you have no idea what a hell that can be. Obviously, the I'd have liked to have been there to see the look on the detectives' faces. But, you know, that was the end of the felony complaint. And she had been in the local mental institution several times previously, and from what I understand, she took a trip back. But see, that's created a situation where anybody can say anything about any priest and get away with it. He did this, he did that. It's resulted in a situation now where I have to take my advice from a panel of judges, lawyers, and law enforcement personnel that I have advising me now. I don't take my advice from the bishops on that because their policy is one complaint and you can be removed from ministry permanently. Not one conviction, one complaint. So I know